Hello everyone, this is Suresh from Azure ADB. Today our topic is how to use the function called last day. So last underscore day function, it returns the last day of the month for the given date column. So first I'm importing the required functions. So mainly last underscore day and a few more functions like to underscore date, current underscore date and date difference. So first we'll discuss about basic example with date column. So I'm creating one sample data frame by using spark.create data frame. And this is the data I'm passing here. So this I have one column, that is column name is date, and I'm passing date values here. So if I create this data frame, so I will get this date as string data type. If you see string data type will get, but we required date column. So what I'm doing on top of this uh, sample data frame, I'm using select method and I'm selecting here date. So that means this first I'm selecting input column, that is date, and I'm using last underscore date function here. So what is the syntax is last underscore day, and we need to provide the column here. So last underscore day, my input column name is date. So I'm passing here. And since I'm using select, I'm using alias name, alias, and the column name is, new column name is last underscore day of the month. That is this one. So now what will happen? So I'm selecting one existing column, that is this one. And on top of that, I'm creating one new column, that is this one. So now what happening here is last underscore day, what it does is first it will check this particular date. So from this particular date, it will print last day of the month. Here 2025 2. So that means February. But here 10 is there. So what this function converts is it will convert to last day of this particular month. So that means February last day is 28th. And here 2025 7/15 is there. So that is July. So this will convert to last day of July month. So that is 31st. Here 2024 February 20. So here, since it is February, the last day printing as 29. So since this is leap year, so here we are getting 29. So here 29 is the last day of the month. For this year, 28th is the last day of the month. So next, the same thing I mentioned here, 2024 February, it has 29 days because it is a leap year. So next, how to use last underscore day function with help of current underscore date. So for this, what I'm doing, spark dot range one. That means I want to print one row. Means I want to generate one row. That is the reason I given one here. And on top of that, I'm using select, and my first column is this one, today column. So for that, I'm using current underscore date alias today. So that is today is this one, and current underscore date means it will print today's date. And after printing that, on top of this column, I am using this last underscore day function. So last underscore day, and inside that I'm passing current underscore date. So that means this particular date, it will convert here. That means this is third third month, that is March. So in March, end of the month is 31st. So we are getting 2026 third 31st. So next, identifying month and records. So sometimes pipelines need only the last day of the month records. Suppose you want to filter only last day of the month records, then I created one sample data frame here. So here I'm using SQL. So here I'm creating table name called account underscore balance. And here I have four columns. One is account underscore ID, customer name, balance, balance date. And for this, I'm passing these values. For getting table, I'm passing these values. And if I call this one select star from this particular table, so this is my final table. So in this, I have one date column, that is balance underscore date. So we are mainly going to target on this particular column. So here what I'm doing, since I created a table, so SQL table I created, first I want to get Spark table. So that means data frame I required. So for that I'm using Spark dot table, and inside that I'm passing this table name. So account underscore balance. So if I use a Spark.table, what it will happen is it will read in tabular format. That means data frame. So once I read this data frame, on top of that, what I'm doing, I'm using with column. That means I'm adding one column, that is last day of the month. And this one I'm converting using to underscore date. To underscore date, balance date. So since if I see here, so here it reading date function. Okay, so since it is SQL, it automatically detecting as date type. So since it is detecting, so here this line of code is not required since already in date format. But in case of if you create a table data frame in PySpark, by default it comes in string data type. Then that time we need to convert by using this to underscore date. Since already SQL table, it detected as date type, then no need to convert this one. Okay, so now on top of this table, what I'm doing here is I'm using filter condition. In filter, I'm writing the condition. What condition is? My column balance underscore date. That is this one. This column is equal to last day of balance date. So that means first it will check this value. If this value is equal to last day of balance date, that means since this is March, so what is last day? 31st will come. So whether this value on 31st is same? No. So both are not same. So then first record, it will filter it out. So what we can do better is for easy comparison, Spark.table. So instead of to underscore date, I'll use here last day. Okay, so it's supposed to be last underscore day. By mistake, I written to underscore date. So now it will be easy to compare. So what I'll do, instead of all this thing, I will segregate this one to new cell. So this one I'll try to display here. I will run this table once again to create the table. After creating this table, I'll try to run that cell. And parallelly, I will run these functions also. Let it complete that. Then I'll run these functions. See this still interrupt means it is still running. Okay, taking time. Okay, so now it completed. So now I will run these functions. So after running, I will back here. Now I rerun this one. Here, if I try to rerun this one, now what will happen? To addition to this, it will create one more column. So first I read the table by using spark.table, and on top of this table, so our initial table is this one. On top of this table, I added one more column, that is last day of month, this column. So how it is created is I used last day function on this particular column. So now for this particular date, since it is March month, so here we are getting 31st. So 31st is the end date, last date. So here already 31st is there, so we'll get same value. And here March 15th is there, we will get 31st. So here again, same 31st is there, we'll get same value. So here February 27 is there, so we'll get 28th. 28th is the last date. And here February 28 is there, so we'll get same date because the last day of the month is same. So why I created here it is, so for understanding this filter, it will be easy. So now our final data frame is this one. So this data frame, now I'm doing filter here. Okay. So on top of this data frame, I am doing filter. And what filter condition I'm giving? Call of balance state. That means this column is equal to last day of balance state. So last day of balance date means this one. So it will compare each and every value. So whether this and this equal, no, it will ignore. So these two are equal. So it will print this value. If I run this one, see here it printing this one. So 331, and here it printing 331. So these two are equal. And again, these two, no, not equal. So here these two are equal and these two are equal. So total, how many are satisfying the condition? Year one and year one, two, year one. So total 3 rows it is satisfying. So what I'm doing, instead of giving this last day of balance date, we are directly filtering this data frame by using call of last date equal to of call of this one, last day of month. So now if I try to rerun this one, you will get only those 3 rows. So still we are not getting. So here month end records. So this is month end records, final one. And on top of that, we are using filter, and filter condition is call of balance date is equal to call of last month date. Okay, so here I'm not defined a variable, so that's why it's not coming. So what I'll do first, I will define to one variable, this one. So if I try to run this, now I will get only 3 records here. See here. So whichever these both columns are equal, so I'm getting only those 3 records. Okay, so same thing is written here. So last underscore day of balance underscore date returns the last date of that month. So this will return only the records where balance date equal to month date are selected. So like this, we can filter from balance date column, only month end records we can filter it out. So here I explained with the SQL code uh, how to create a table and insert the data. So same thing, you can use it like this also in PySpark way also. So first creating the data, then by using spark.create data frame, this data we have to pass here and we have to write the column names. And after creating table, we will write to delta table by using save as table. So then by using spark.table, this account balance, we can read it. So either of the way you can do it. Next scenario is partitioning data by month end. So suppose we have large data sets are stored using partitioning for faster queries. So if you have larger data, then by using partitioning, you can save the data. So whenever you want to query the data, it will be easy. So for that, what I did, I created one table here again, sales underscore transformation underscore partitioned. So here also I have four columns. One is transaction ID, customer ID, product, transaction date, and account. And for that, I'm passing this data here. That means inserting the data into this table by using these values. And later by using select star from, I'm calling the table. So this is my sample data frame. So in this, our target is this one, transaction underscore date column. So here what I'm doing, so now SQL table is created. So I'm calling the table through Spark. So that means data frame, it will convert from table to data frame. So Spark dot table sales underscore transaction. So that is the name it is given here, sales underscore transaction. So next, what I'm doing on top of this one, I'm creating one more column. So that is month end. Column name is month end, and I'm applying last day on transaction date. So that is this one. So on this particular column, I'm applying last day. So before printing to output, we'll see how output looks. So our table is this one, table name, sales transaction partitioned. So spark dot table, I am writing this one, and on top of that, means on top of these columns, I am adding one more column, that is month end, by using last day. So here what I'm doing, I will try to display also before writing. So first I'm displaying, then what I'm doing. So this particular thing I'm writing to delta lake by using mode as override and partition by month end. So month end based on this, and save as table. For this I given one table name. So save as table sales monthly. So now what it's doing is schema mismatch detected. Okay. Okay, so since schema mismatch is detected, what I'll do, I will add this function. Okay, so here what I did, first I'm reading the table. So reading the table is up to here. So these many columns, my initial data frame. So on top of that, what I'm doing, I'm creating one column here, that is month underscore end, that is this one. How I'm creating, by using this function, last underscore day of transaction date. On this column, I'm applying last underscore day. So what it generates is year 2025, January 5th is. So what is the last day of this January 31st? So that we are getting here 2025 January 31st. Here 2005 January 15 is there. So what is the last day of the month? 31st. Here also January, so we'll get January 31st. So here February 10 is there. So these are all February. So what we'll get is February 28th. February 28th. So here already 28th is there. It will print same value. So these two are March. So it will print March last day of the month. That is 31st. Okay, so now this final data, this data frame, I saved into Delta Lake by using write option, right? And a given mode as overwrite. If already data is there, it will overwrite. And so initially I got data type mismatch, right? So to avoid that, I given option match schema as true. And here our main topic is this one, partition by month end and save as table. And I given save table name as this one, sales underscore monthly. So what is this partition by is partition by month end. So based on this. So partition by means how it will save is it will save into partitions based on month. Based on month, it will do partitions. So here 2025 1. So these will save as together, and February month it will save as together. March month it will save as together. So now table is saved as sales underscore monthly. Now what I'm doing, I'm calling this table by using SQL. Select star from sales monthly, this one. Select star from sales underscore monthly, where this one month end equal to 2025 331. So that means I want to display only March month records. So how many records are there here? Only two records are there. So here it will generate only two records. So because since we used partition by, it is saved as like partitions. So otherwise, if you are not used partition by, then if you call this one, the entire table will get to display. So suppose if I want to get only February, then what I will do here, I will change it to February 28th, this one, 2025, February 28th, I will change. So now what will happen? Only February related, February month related records will generate here. So here how all these things possible here is because of using this last day. You assume that we are saving only up to here. Then you assume that you used partition by. Then what will happen? So here month related. See here we have different data is there. So the data will be having more number of partitions. Since we converted based on last day, so it become equal number of values. So it is splitted into different months. Okay, so similar way you can change here January month. So if you want only January month end records, so you can change this query and you will get values here. So next final thing is monthly aggregation in ETL. Monthly aggregation in ETL pipelines. So use cases. So financial dashboards like Power BI, Tableau, we require month-end aggregation. So for this scenario, I'm creating one more SQL table here. So table name is sales underscore transactions. So here I'm creating four different columns. That is transaction ID, customer ID, transaction date, and amount. And into this table, I'm inserting the values. These values I'm inserting into this table. And if I use a select star from this table, I will get this table here. So here our main target is this one, transaction underscore date column. So on top of this, what I'm doing, I'm reading this table. I'm reading this table by using spark.table and this sales underscore transactions. That is this one. This SQL table I'm calling through Spark. So that table, it will convert to data frame. So on top of this data frame, this is our original data frame. I'm adding one more column, that is month underscore end, by using with column. So here what I'm generating is I'm using this function last underscore day, and this function I'm applying on this column. So now what will happen? See here, all these three are January month. These three records are January month. So what is the month end? 31st. See here, 2025, first, 31st. And if you see here, these three are February month records. So here we'll get February month end is 28th. So 2025 to 28, 2025 to 28. Here already same date is there, we'll get same date. And for March, we have two records. And what is the month end for March? That is 31st. So we are getting two records for March month end. So now this is my final data frame. This data frame I am doing group by. So what group I am doing? This is last day of transaction date. That is this one. So this one, what it does is it will generate this column. So month end column, it will generate. So what it generate this one. So same column we'll get. So that means on this column, we are doing group by. If you apply group by, what will happen? So this first January 31st, we have three records. So same records. So these three will become one group. And if you see here, 2025, 131. So here what we want? Sales. In aggregation, what we given is aggregation, sum of amount. So here we have amount column. So we need to do sum of. See for January month, I want total sales. So these three become one group. And since we applied aggregation as sum, these three values will sum up together. That means if you do sum up, we'll get this value. And at the same time, if you see for next group, this first group is over and second group is this one, February month. So these three become one group and sum of these three. So February month 28th, this is the sum. And similar way, third group is this one, March. So for this, these two will get sum of 1300 plus 900. That is this one, sum of. So this is about how to write the syntax in SQL and how to call the table. And on top of that, how to apply last underscore day and how to do aggregation. If you want to do in PySpark, so this is the way you can write it. First, you define the data. Then by using spark.create data frame, this data will pass here and we define the column names here. So once a data frame is created, so I'm writing this sales underscore df. This created data frame, I'm using write method and mode as overwrite, and I'm saving this table sales underscore transaction. So this part of code we can replace with this one. And after that, accept this line remaining all same by using PySpark. So you can do either of the way, either using SQL or PySpark. So that's all about this video on how to use last underscore day function in PySpark. If you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.